everyone, and welcome to Be Bold. Today is another very special day. My name is Crystal Jeanne, and well, I have a very special guest here today, Elder Dr. Micheal Agyekum Addo. Now, he has risen from grass to grace, or from selling tomatoes at the age of 7 to now owning a multinational empire. So he's now successful and wealthy businessman and the CEO of Karma Group Limited, with one of his companies being a proud member of Ghana Club 100, a group of prestigious and successful businesses in Ghana. So he's here with us today. And also, I don't know if some of you know this book, The 7 Principles of Success and Wealth Creation. I'm going to discuss more about it later. But first, let's talk to Dr. Agyekum Addo right here. Thank you very much for joining us here today, sir. Now, what drives you? I've read through your book, I've read your bios, and really, I just want to know what drives you to do everything that you do.
Thanks, Crystal. What drives me? I've been poor before, and I don't want to get back to it. That's my driving motivation.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah. And having also read your bio, I know that you also went through a lot of challenges to get, down to sometimes even with your examinations, failing them, and a lot of us have gone through that as well. You know, how did you manage to overcome all of those sort of challenges?
Thank you. For the benefit of viewers, I would say that you don't see these challenges as problems. Failing exams, being victimized by a lecturer, having bank problems, staff worrying you. I see these as challenges, as stepping stones, giving me experience in life. I don't see them as problems. I feel uninhibited. You know, as a child, the teachers used to call me a motor child. Slippery, kind of. So you like to suppress me. I'm unsuppressible. I feel not uninhibited. So those are the way I overcome some of these things. And I believe gives you a thick skin in life. I believe this world is full of uncertainties, and you do not have to give up easily. Try and try again.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
You sound like you have so much wisdom. Can you tell me a bit more about your story? What is your story?
Very interesting. Well, at the age of 6, I could see my mom bought me a suit, so she was all right. But getting to 7, she fell sick, and Crystal, we were all wishing that she would be all right until 15 years later. So you can imagine at 6 plus 15 years, my mom got healed through prayers from the Church of Pentecost. So by 21, I had to fend for myself because she was a single parent. So 15 years of all challenges till today, I haven't had any support whatsoever from parents or family members. But at 6, my mom used to be a grocer at the village market, Sushen, near Koforidua. I had to take it up. And she went to the next village to credit and bring it to our village and sell. So I continued that at the age of 7. So personally, I don't believe in child labor. You learn from the trade, from your parents at that time. So I used to do that and go to school at the same time. Interestingly, my house is just opposite the school. But because I had to do all the household chores, go to the market and assemble all these things before I get back to school, I was always late. So I was flogged. Mm-hmm. And it really annoyed the teachers all the more, the fact that my house was directly opposite. These were some of the challenges.
Yeah.
Any other child would have abandoned school, but I kept on going. At that time, I didn't know the future, how it would look like with education anyway. But when I finished the elementary school at the age of 14, there was a philanthropist in our village who took me to the senior high, that's Ghana Secondary School, Koforidua. And interestingly, he promised the headmaster that he would come and pay the fees but he didn't. And apparently, when I went, I got to know that I should pay fees. By the time I enumerated all my problems to him, he promised that, oh, next week I'll come and pay. Next week never came. He died.
Oh.
So,
again, another challenge.
Another challenge. Eventually, I don't know if I have any competitor, anybody going to a boarding school without chobox or suitcase, no school uniform, no sandals. Cutlery set, beddings, name them. I just went empty. But I wanted to go to school. So I was given a cheat through my father that I should go to house 4. And that was it. And he left me. But by dint of providence, when I was called and humiliated in front of the first year students, when the lights was off, one of them approached me that he knew me from the next village and that I could come for pieces of whatever he had. So the next morning I had school uniform and I had sandals, all through the work of the magnanimity of Charles Owusu Boateng.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he has died, but I'm looking after his kids. So that took me through secondary school. A lot of challenges. To be a long story to tell you, I had to use one shirt for 3 years, blah, blah, blah. And then the sixth form, I had to teach school for the deaf. But I was asked to teach lip reading and not the sign language. I had to learn the sign language as a teacher.
So you know how to lip read?
That's what I'm doing now, and you are supposed to lip read me. So you teach. For example, if I have this one as a book, then you have bottle when you come to B. And then you shout. The person has to identify between the two what is book and what is bottle. It was a very nice experience that I had, and so I failed my sixth form. I had to do it again, and I was admitted to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in 1972 to read pharmacy. There too I met other challenges, and then I took 5 years to finish a 4-year course because of victimization. That was also another challenge.
Wow.
When I started my business, within the next 2 years, as the business was growing, my landlord said, you better quit.
When you say victimization, how were you victimized?
Interestingly, if you are in a class and you are supposed to do self-introduction, and then when it got to my turn, I mentioned my name, which didn't sound familiar, no family reputation. Then I said Sushain, it's not on the map, so the lecturer also could not fathom where Sushain is. And then the school I came from, the lecturer asked, how did you get admission here? Of course, through my certificate, isn't it, Crystal? But I thought...
They didn't understand how you got there.
Yes, because they thought pharmacy was a noble profession. You needed to come from specific schools, better family, that kind of stuff.
Do you think that happens today still?
I think it's reduced.
It's reduced.
But most of the professions also look out for that because they expect certain kind of behavior right from the beginning before you are trained.
Yes.
So these days I think it has gone down, but it's better they don't use where you come from, the kind of school, to judge you. Because right now I believe I'm also a successful pharmacist.
Wow. Now, Doctor, let's dive into that then. I know that also Kama Group Limited, you have Kama Clinic Limited, Kama Forex Bureau, Kama Industries Limited, Kama Estates Limited, so many, Kama Conference. So why the diversity in all of these different businesses?
Well, I think I started as a pharmacist in a pharmacy shop. After I had 10 years postgraduate experience in pharmaceutical manufacturing for Agyekum and Wana Subontin Brothers in Kumasi, I decided to be on my own in 1986. So I opened one pharmacy shop. And after about 5 years later, I realized, oh, I could go further to do manufacturing. So I came to Accra from Kumasi to start a manufacturing company. Manufacturing and retail pharmacy are complementary. So again, it's a core business that I'm doing in pharmacy. Then I set up one-stop wholesale pharmacy in Accra, which is now beginning to be popular. But in the past, you wouldn't get one-stop wholesale. If you have a drugstore, I'll come and fill it for you. Yeah, and we have over 2,000 customers for that wholesale pharmacy. I realized that occasionally representing multinationals all over the world, we used to do clinical meetings. So I thought of opening a conference center, which eventually I'll turn into commercial venture. So right now I have conference centers in Accra, Koforidua, and Kumasi. Again, complementary to the pharmacy. I realized we needed money to import raw materials and finished products. And that's the Forex Bureau, the exchange. Somewhere in the 90s, it was a difficult thing to get the dollars. So I opened it to support my business. So we had a Kama Forex Bureau. Right now, we are going into a financial institution with it.
Yeah.
Again, complementary.
So it's complementary, even though it's
businesses. And in my book, I have said that some of these things are necessary, because just like a ripple thing in the water, if you put a stone in water, you see ripples.
Yeah.
So it comes in concentric circles until it goes to infinity. Business is like that. You need to focus at the beginning, but after 5 years, when you've seen your left and right and you know all the intricacies of business, nothing stops you from doing something related to your business. That's why I do that. So I advise people in my book that give yourself 3 to 5 years before you add on. 3 to 5 years before you add on. If you start 3 businesses at the same time, it's bound to fail.
So just start off with one and then eventually add on. Now, today, we want to know how you've been successful and you've gotten to where you've gotten to, and actually follow some of those ways and the principles that you followed. So I want to look exactly, I think this sums it up really, really well. The 7 principles of success and wealth creation. Now, in there, you mentioned honesty, reliability, you mentioned not to forget your history, investment, and so many more. And I just there's one passage in here I wanted to read so that you can elaborate more on it. And I think this is one of the biggest problems that we have in Ghana. And in here he said, people promise but often fail to fulfill their promise. They give you time, but they are never sure to go by it. They call it African time or Ghanaian time, yet we do not have African or Ghana watch.